Kayla Miller, are you there?
It's me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm so sorry. I'm running a little bit behind already. Welcome in. Hey, I can't see you yet, though.
Oh, no.
Here, I'm going to ask you to start your video. See if you get that prompt.
Got it.
There it is.
Hey, there we are.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am very well. Oh, I saw your thing and I was like, oh my God, I know that name. I know exactly who this is. Okay, I have a question. If I can recall, it's been a while and I have a million sessions. I know exactly who you are by face. And I remember one particular person in particular on here that we channeled. But I cannot remember for the life of me if this is correct or not. I think I had your brother showing up in my last session with me. And if I can remember, was he ever military?
Mm-mm.
Not at all. Yeah. They keep showing me over and over again, like camo print over and over again. Camo print, is that a thing?
But he was a hunter for sure.
Oh, see, I never make that connection. Sorry. We were military. My dad is military. My ex-husband is. And so I'm like, camo print for me is your Marines for some reason. Oh, okay. He showed up. He was here. And I even told my client, I go, there's a guy here. I go, nobody was ever military or like super outdoorsy in your family, right? And she goes, no. I go, there's a young man here, a younger guy here. And I go, I just have to let you know that because he was standing here waiting to come in. Okay. Yeah, it's very, very cool. That's not normal though. So let's see what. Wow. And is this mom?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. He keeps calling her mama over and over again in my head. I mean, I know we say mom, but like that. And he has almost like what would be like an urgent message for her, which is very interesting. Like this is what it feels like. He's like coming up to her and he's like, mom, I gotta tell you this. I gotta talk to you about this. Like that's the feeling behind it. But I want you to take your health like extra serious this year. Like extra freaking serious this year. And I don't know what's going on, and I will have to look that into it more, but this is literally what's happening. Y'all know that I'm not into dramatics, but this is kind of dramatic. So it's like this person coming up and he's like, mama, I got to tell you, I can see what is in front and you got to take it. Like, come on. And I don't know if there's something brewing in there right now or if like there's something going on right now. But he keeps talking about how that he's going to see you at the end of this, or like he doesn't want to see you at the end of this, or like there's something literally to that degree that this has never come across for me before. So I'm in uncharted territory for my sessions right now. And he like wants to let you know that he's with you. He's with you, and he's here. And it's interesting because he keeps crawling up on his knees next to you over and over again. And he's like looking at your eyes. What? He's mad. He's upset. He's like this. He's like, fuck, I can't be there. I can't be, And I can see him like, I'm sorry, I'm wearing a onesie. And he's like popping off and bouncing around. And I'm like, dude, that's up to you, bro. I mean, that's between you and, what? He's like, is all I get? What is going on? This is new. I didn't think this was going to happen. This only happened because your mom is here and she came on the scene. Like it's a whole thing right now. What? Really?
I'm looking.
Are we like doing biopsies right now or like what's going on? What? Oh,
we're not doing biopsies.
What is that?
We're doing scans. CT scans.
Really? Mm-hmm. Really? Wow. Okay. Wow. Well, I was not expecting this. What? He showed me going through like that, and he shows me like that. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, are we biopsying it? What are we? And he keeps talking about probing in or like looking in. And I'm like, okay. He says that he just keeps saying, be there for Kayla, be there for Kayla. You got it, be there for her. So where are we at right now? What is happening? I don't like this message. So what is going on? Me personally, I don't. This is not.
Routine scans. I hadn't been to the doctor for a while. I had a lung scan. It came back okay. I also had my first mammogram, and it came back with a mass on the left side of my breast. I went in for a second scan or mammogram, a more centered one, and now they want to do an ultrasound of it. That's where we're at.
Well, hot dog. I don't want to say, I'm not going to put the doom and gloom on this. I'm not going to put doom and gloom on this, but I want to tell you that I'm feeling some feels right now that I don't particularly like. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel afraid or scared. And that is not a normal thing for somebody to rush up by your side and like try to hop in and be a part of your life right now. You can watch every single one of my sessions.
It's probably because I don't doctor. I don't doctor.
Yeah.
And he knows it.
Yeah. I know. And he keeps wanting you like that. Now there's a feeling. It's interesting that I was going to ask you, did you have lung stuff going on? It's because they're kind of in that same area, boob and lung, we're women, right? But he, tell me. What? You got to let me know when they go in. Hold on. I see you being wrapped right here with a bandage, which means that I don't know, but I mean, you can kind of, how do I say this? There's going to be push. There's going to be push back and pull and push back and pull. I think that they may end up watching it for a little bit. I'm trying to dance around my words right now because I'm like, I don't want to get too far into one thing. It's like they may watch it. He shows me this. He shows me here. And then he talks about wrapping. So maybe we go in and like want to do a biopsy down the line. I don't know. But then he goes like this and he goes, which means maybe it grows, right? Or shows up like that. And then he shows me this and he shows me you next to her, hospital bed. So it's like, do we go in and get this taken out? Do we go in and get this done? And she's seeing that. Then he shows me you, but like how you have your hair right now. But then he shows it like gray, like very gray. To almost like if you see like all the bits of like white gray, like I have that I cover up in my hair every single week. And he talks about the stress and he shows me your cheeks and he makes them a little bit flatter, which means we've lost some weight. And so I don't know, but then I don't feel if I go down. I don't think you're passing away this year. I'm not going to give you that though. I can tell you that. I don't think you're going anywhere this year. Sorry. You're here still, but he talks about just because when I feel you. So this is what I did with my father. When my father found out that his cancer it came back, we had been dealing it for 10 years and it went away and came back. I did this whole feeling thing. It was during Christmas time and I could not feel him at the following one. And he ended up dying December 21st of that year. So 4 days before it happened. You feel like you're here. And so after that, I've been doing that every single time with sessions and it always turns out correct. Or at least 99.99999%. I missed it with a dog, but you feel like you're here. That's why I did. I like 100% accuracy, but sometimes I mess up too. But you feel like you're here, but I don't think that we're out of the woods. I think you need to stay on top of this. I think y'all are going to do this together. And I think that Kayla is going to be afraid. Don't be afraid, though. You have a lot of very wonderful people over here watching out for you, including your brother, who is here with us, trying to get into my brain, very hardcore right now, trying to talk to you. He's the one that's just like walking around being frustrated. And so I want to let you know that if you feel like you're alone, you never are. Okay. The other thing too is that I sense mom, just you getting to a point where you're like, I don't want to do this, just out of pure, like, I don't want to put myself through it.
Dean.
Stop it. And then Kayla gets overly frustrated, like, why not like this? And you're like, because I don't. And she's like, come on, you know. And so I do feel that interaction going on at one point, because that's a lot of energy, and that's a big pivotal energetic moment. And so I think that may happen down the line, but we'll go to that. So what do we have to do now? We have to enjoy our life, love where we're at, and know that your brother, your son, is here just hot on your tail. Okay. Hot on your tail. Wow, that's something new. I knew that wow, y'all, this is a new thing for us. I was like, this is going to be a follow-up. No, it's going to be a whole new session. So let me go into here. Let's see what he's doing. What else does he see? What? He says he's a trickster with y'all. And I know we're going to bring other people through. He says he's a trickster. And the only thing that I can imagine is he keeps showing me, like, if lights flicker or if lights go tink, 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 like that. And so I'm like, I don't know if he's necessarily turning them off or on, or if he's just like making them mess up. But that's what he's doing. And it's almost like y'all call him out for this, or somebody says like, Chris, or something like that. Does somebody do that? Yeah.
There was a balloon on Mother's Day last year.
What?
Last year or the year before.
It was a smiley face.
A smiley face balloon that just kept like poking out.
It would just poke around the corner and go back. Poke around the corner.
Really? Really? Oh, how fascinating. Okay. Yeah, I can hear somebody, like a woman's voice, so one of y'all going, Chris, and like blaming it on him. And it's a thing. It's a thing. He says, he's so funny. This is what he's doing right now. I go, well, what else do you do? And it's like he's running around, and I'm just going to bring this stuff over here because it's just what it looks like. He's like going around, and he's like trying to find stuff to like mess with in my head. What? Tell me about her. Hey, buddy. He's touching a dog in my head. What are you doing? Hang on. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Who has... I don't remember if we talked about that last time. I can't remember what we talked about. I know we talked about him. He wasn't nearly this. I mean, he was good, but he's not nearly this crazy, which is great. I mean, crazy in a good way. Who has... Do we not have the large dog that lays on the floor that looks like a carpet? Like the big wide one? Do we not have a big one? Okay.
That was the black lab. Dozer.
The lab. Yes, Dozer. Oh, that is Dozer. Wasn't it? Oh my God, Dozer's here. Oh my God. See, now I remember. Oh, that's cool. So he's talking to him. I forgot Dozer passed, didn't he? That's the whole thing. Yes. Oh, Dozer's here. Oh, that's so sweet. This is what he does. All I see is him going up. So I'm talking to your brother right now. He's in what looks to be my room and your room at the same time. And he's like, hey. And I can feel this like that. Like you can do it with two hands. And so he's bringing Dozer back again. What about it? You're going to be here and take care of Mama, aren't you? He's like talking about taking care of her, aren't you? What? I wonder if Dozer would get... No, I don't know what that is. Little calluses. We'll leave that there. Come back over here. So Dozer's here. Dozer, I think, is in your house with you right now. And he's kind of here too. Come here, bud. Tell me about her. What happened with her? Hold on. Your brother is talking about how, so they're making, because last time we talked in my session room, he's making comments on where I've moved. and he's talking about the porch, and he's talking about all of y'all like sitting out on a front porch or wanting to do that, and how y'all should come to my house and sit on my front porch, and how it would be great. Like that's what he's just having a conversation on. And your brother really wants to get everybody together to have like a little party. He says that it's all, he says, I want to get everybody together. He said, we can come out here. And he says, I know you don't drink. I was like, yeah, not anymore. He's like, we'll make tea. And I'm like, okay, we'll have tea. And then you can have him have a beer. There's somebody whose birthday is coming up. Like, what's May birthday? When is like, or what's up in May or end of April?
Today is my dad's anniversary.
April 30th.
Oh,
John.
yeah.
My brother John's birthday, 30th.
April 30th, yeah.
And then today's your anniversary. Oh, okay.
It would have been X anniversary.
Oh, okay. So it's
dad.
gonna go with Johnson. Yeah, we don't need him then. Yeah, then it would go with John's birthday, because he says, he goes like this. I go, so what are we celebrating? And he just makes me feel the sign of Taurus, which for me is birthday related. And so when I go May, and he goes, no, end of April. So that's why I asked that. He says, tell me, what about him? John doesn't believe in this shit. John's not a person for this. No, he says, I said, what do you want to say to John? And he goes, oh, he doesn't believe in this shit. I was like, oh, well, thank you. And he says, tell him I said hi. Did him and John like knocking along very well?
Off and on.
Oh, okay. That was a very hard. This is what he says. I said, what do you want to say to John? Do you love him? Do you miss him? And he says, oh, hell, I don't know if he'll listen to me. And that's his, yeah, that was that. I was like, did he like knock it along with him? He says that, tell me, you're talking really well, dude. Like, I'm really proud of you. What were you doing? It's like, thanks. I practiced. I'm like, tell me about her. Ooh, weird. Okay, Kayla, I know you've moved. I know we've all moved and everything like that. So this is what he said. Does not make a lick of sense to me, though. Absolutely no sense. So, and it may not to you, but this is all he's showing in my head. He showed me a shoebox, which means memories in my head or putting together memories of stuff. But then it's weird. He just showed me like you, and he just showed me old, like, you know how we used to carry around these little CD like cassettes or CD players, that like single ones with like the stupid old headphones on. He just showed me that. Then he showed me book of CDs. Then he showed me blue CD. Then he talked about eating a lollipop, which is odd. And I'm like, I don't know. And then he goes and he shows me shoebox again. So maybe somebody's like listening to his old music or has his CDs, but then he's talking about how, do you have any idea about that?
We listen to his music a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
You see how roundabout that was? Like that means they listen to my old music that I used to listen. That's what he's saying. That's how crazy they get in my head. So tell me, what else? He's like trying to figure out how to talk in my head more. Tell me, what? Come here. Did you really? No, you didn't. He did not go crossbow hunting. But did he ever like use a crossbow? Like did you know? Bird hunting?
Fishing. For fishing.
Fishing?
Mm-hmm.
For crossbow?
Crossbow fishing.
Mm-hmm.
He did it all the time from the backyard.
Wait, is that a thing? Is that a real thing? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to write that down. I've never heard of that before. I'm here for this because now I live like for gar.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's stuff there.
Water and it's super straight.
Yeah. Okay. So I live next, like a block away is the lake now. And so I'm going to convince my husband that I need a crossbow. And if you see me dead, you know why. Chris and I'll be hanging out waiting for you. Okay. What happened? Crossbow. But no, he goes like this. I said, what are you doing? And he goes, Dow. And I'm like, what is that? Dow? Like you can hear that. And I'm like, what do you, and he puts out like a hunting thing. And I go, are you hunting deer with that? And he goes, no, they're little. Dow. And I'm like, birds? Like it's fish. What? Are you really? He used to smoke cigarettes. You're gross. And then stopped it. Like, that was a long time ago, though. Did he end up, like, just vaping?
No, he
No.
cigars.
Oh, that.
He started smoking when he was 18. And he's like, I'm going to smoke for a month just to prove to mom that it was easy to quit.
And then he kept.
Yeah.
He kept. Mm-hmm. I didn't think he did that. He still do. So this is what he's doing in my head right now. He is, I'm going to get up and show you right now. And we're going to channel more people. Your son just wants to talk to you. Okay. And especially this. And I hope are you okay with that? Yep. Okay. I know a lot of people want me to go other places, but I'm going to milk him as long as possible because I love this man. He goes like this. He's in, I guess you'd say, oh, now he switched to waders, which is funny. Like those long waders that you wear rubber boots with. He's just hilarious right now. But anyways, he's walking around in like grass in the backyard. And you can hear like the crunch, and he has a cigarette. He's like, or he has like this, and I can taste the smoke in my mouth. And he's like, what? And I'm like, put that out. Like, you're being gross. He says, tell me, what about her? Mom, you know, you always like me better. You know, I'm the best. Like, just that. Like, he's just letting.
Don't deny it. You bitch.
Like, you know, you like me better. I'm always the best. And he's like, come on. And he's like, no qualms with you. He doesn't use that word, but that's what I'm saying. He says, tell me, what? He's sitting like this. He's like, I'm sorry I left you. I'm sorry. You know, he does all that. And I'm like, I know. He says, what? Things need to be fixed around here, apparently, and y'all don't know how to fix them or something like that. And I'm like, he's not necessarily the most handy man in the world either, but he would kind of do it like janky ways. That's what he says. He goes, he's like, things around here need fixing. And he's like, and they don't know how to do it. And then he gets a hammer and he goes, gunk, and he puts like a piece of wood sideways. And I'm like, that means you don't know how to do it very well either. And he's like, but at least I'll try. He what? Does like, do we need the roof partly fixed here? Like, do we need like things patched up on the roof? You don't have any leaks or anything like that. Do we need new shingles or something? Now that you know of? Okay, so let's just leave that there. So this is the weird thing he just showed me. By the way, they don't normally run up to you, and also they don't normally talk about roofs. And so I would say maybe there's something that ends up going on in like one of the crooks of it that maybe we end up getting like a really nice leak in like the next, or something happens. It's almost like if you have where a shingle would go like this, like that, or something would go like that. And then he's talking about how there can be water that's coming down and like get up and look up there, and that could lead to more later on. And so watch out. That's all I keep saying. Have you experienced anything like that yet or no?
No, but I might know.
Okay.
I might know what he's talking about. We just put solar panels on our cabin.
You put solar panels. Oh, and are they working okay? What's going on with that?
They're okay.
They're okay right now.
But when you were doing this, that's
yeah,
where the solar panels go.
Oh, are they really? Yeah, he keeps showing me like an angle like this, like that, and how they go like that. And so I'm wondering, and he's more particularly talking about how there's multiple spots or multiple points of it, you know? Did you put like 6 on there? How many did you put?
There's 5. Or no, there
5.
is. There's 6. There's 3 little ones, 3 big ones.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, how cool. Oh, how cool. Okay, sorry. I go like this. I said, how many are there? It was like 1, 2. My mother-in-law has 4. And he goes, I'm like, 6? He says, yeah, watch out for that. I don't know about the rain. I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll leave that there. Maybe water ends up short circuiting it. I don't know. What? Tell me. So what about her? Where? What? Nukes. What are you talking about? He's talking about soup and salad places, like where you get a sandwich and a salad, which is very odd, but it's like a little cafe eatery. And y'all, wait, what state are y'all in right now?
West Virginia.
You're in West Virginia. Do y'all go to Jason's Deli a lot?
I don't know that we have one.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, it's weird. Down here in my area, we have a place called Nukes that we go to. Me and my husband will go to every so often. I don't know if they have that up over there. And so I'm like, what does this mean? And then he's like making me taste salad and he's making me taste a sandwich. And I'm like, interesting. And he's not a salad sandwich person. That's why I'm like, maybe he's trying to talk about going out to lunch with y'all. I don't know. That's the best way I can describe. Tell me about her. What? Okay, and Mom, you have insurance though?
Mhm.
Oh. I asked him, I'm trying to get him, I'm getting him to tattle on you. I said, so why wouldn't she go into the doctor? What was going on? I said, did they not have insurance? Were they like paying cash for everything? And he goes, no, she has insurance. And I'm like, oh, because I don't have any. I'm refusing to pay for it right now. It's way too expensive. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, make sure you stick with that. Make sure you stick with that. Let me see. Come here. Tell me about one. Hmm. Do you not have, Mom, do you not have any text messages from Chris saying, I love you?
Mm-hmm.
You do? Perfect. Okay, good. He goes like this. He just goes through his phone and he says, I wish I would say I love you more. And then he talks about messages. And so that means like maybe we didn't say it or maybe he just like wants to say it. So I'm glad. So we go over those. We still have those. He says, tell me. Hold on. Let me charge him up really quick. Come here. What are you doing now? You what? Hold on. My whole TV. If you ever see this, so I have my computer that I have with just my schedule on here. I have it in a massive 40-inch screen right now because I don't have my thing. So I have my TV hooked up to it. So it's never Spirit. It just like randomly comes on apparently. Hang on. Come here. Tell me about you, Chris. Where are you at now? What are you doing? He's talking about, he's trying to give your mom and you, it's weird. He's talking about God, or source. I like to call it that. Both of them, whatever it is. It's just a name. It's an energy altogether. He's talking about mom feeding birds. Do you have like a bird feeder in front? Are you feeding the birds? Do you have that? Is that a thing?
We have bird houses.
You have bird houses. Interesting. He goes, hey, I don't have a sign for that. He goes, I said, what are you doing? And he shows me, I have chickens now. And so he showed me in the morning when I go out there and I have feed and I go like this. And he's talking about following mom out there or like being with her and the birds or like watching the birds. And he's talking about going outside and being with you on these things. He says that, tell me. What? Do y'all get little bluebirds up there? Not blue jays. Do y'all get little bluebirds?
Mm-hmm.
You do? Really? Okay. He showed me an image of 2 days ago. I was sitting on one of my beds in my other bedroom, and there was this little bluebird that just pitched itself right in front of my windowsill. That was it, tiny. And then he goes and he talks about mom seeing bluebirds or mom having bluebirds. So he's like wanting to like bring that up. So maybe he's like trying to bring that in there as well. I felt it was special, so I bet he's trying to say that it's special for you as well. He says, tell me. He goes, nah. He goes, you think I need a trim? You think I need a trim? He says, I think I keep myself up quite nice. Your son still thinks he's hot to trot. He thinks he's so sexy. He thinks, I mean, he's not bad looking. He's a good looking guy. Let me tell you that. Like, he's okay. He's great. He's talking about how he doesn't need scissors to like trim anything up now. He says, What? What were you doing? Tell me about her. My sister will have to wait. Kayla, are you living with mom right now?
Mm-mm.
No, right? Okay. There's something about moving back in. I'm not saying that you're going to because you want to. I'm not saying, or there's something about somebody moving in. I know y'all are like, oh, hell no, that ain't going to happen. I know. Look at y'all there, but it's weird. And I'm not saying now, and I'm not saying because anybody's in a financial deficit or anything like that. There's no chaos. There's something, maybe it's like somebody has to like help mom, maybe down the line. Well, and mom's like, no. Yeah. Yeah. What, have you talked about that or what?
I just know it's coming at some point.
She's going to put me in a nursing home.
Shut up. No, she's not. Stop. This is okay. This is all he's saying. He's talking about Kayla. He goes, Kayla, you know, when this stuff happens and keeps going, he's like, you're going to either have to move with mom or mom's going to have to move with you. It's going to be like, y'all are going to be pairing up. And he says, I'm not. Yeah, I know. And he says, I'm not going to be the one that's going to break up the fight. So he's talking about being in the middle to like push y'all aside in like a funny way. He says that, what? Mom, can you go and like start like stained glass or something? Odd. There's something about like you going off and, I don't know where you're going to get all this time from. Maybe this has to do with like what's happening here. It's weird. It's almost like I get you into like some interesting form in art. And one of my forms of art is like stained glass. It's kind of interesting. And so we're going to leave that there. You don't seem like this big Etsy person that goes out and like scrapbooks or anything like that. You don't have that vibe about you. Yeah. And so I'm wondering if you end up doing something like that, and we'll leave that there. Come here, Chris. Tell me more about her. And then I'm going to see if I can bring other people in too. Chris, can you do it? Hang on. Hold on.
I had mentioned Bob and Debbie, who was like in my first session.
Yeah.
We've been talking. I didn't tell her about this until last weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't want her to worry too much.
Really?
She told me there was going to be one in like December of this year.
October.
But she didn't tell me that this one came open and available early until last weekend.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I forgot. This was one of those days that I randomly opened up for my Discord. Yes, that's why. Oh, I am so happy you got that session. This is so great. Oh, my God. For the people, we were looking through our calendars and I was like, wait, we just have these random days that I was supposed to be working on. And so I just like opened them up and it was, girl, when I say within 4 minutes, they're all gone.
I was in
That's
your TikTok live. I was in your TikTok live.
You did it. Oh my God. So you got it.
Yep.
And let me tell you, when you, I don't know what you did and at what speed you got this at, but after everybody booked within, like I said, 5 minutes, they're all gone. And people were emailing me. I had it in my cart. It says it's not available now. Like it was crazy. So, it's nuts, man. It gets crazy. People will go and they keep my website on their screen at work and they refresh it every 10 minutes to see if there's an appointment. Like it's insane. Your son is so magical. I like what he's turned into. I don't know what you've been doing with him, Kayla, like talking to him, bringing him forward. What about her? I know that, Mom, I know that you remember Chris. I know that you love him. He doesn't want you to forget about him. Obviously, you can't. He hangs out with you every chance you get. I like that he brings Dozer through right away. I want to ask him about your people. Hang on. Hold on. Wait, so is Mom's mom crossed over? Your brother go. Wait, what? Say it one more time.
In the 70s.
Oh my God, she died a long time. Wow. Okay, let's see if she's
fine.
Really. Hold on. Let's see if she hasn't reincarnated yet. Hang on. Give me her first name only.
Suzanne.
Okay. Can you do it for me, Chris? Come on. We're switching to a new. I don't have. Oh, I did. I found a new spot. Hang on. Let's see. Can you, let's see if she's here still. Come on, Susan. Interesting. I think that Suzanne, Chris is talking about her. Um, come here. Chris is saying, so your mom was actually like ill before she crossed over? Yeah, this is what your son is saying. I said, where's Suzanne? I said, go get me Suzanne, Chris. Can you go find her? And he goes, man, he goes, she was having a hard time. I can only imagine what she was going through. And I said, what? He says, and to have those little kids. And I said, okay, so she didn't die of like suicide or an overdose or anything. He says, no. He says, but we could have taken care of it these days. Like he's talking about like the medical stuff back then versus here and how it would have been better. And I go, oh, okay. And he was like, I'll go get her. So I think that she's still in spirit, which is great. So let's see. Hang on. What? These are all clues. Tell me about it. Maybe Suzanne didn't want to go to the doctor either. Maybe that's the thing. And like we put it off too late or something, because he says that he goes like this. He says, and she didn't want to go either. That's all he says. And I go, oh, okay. He says, what? Did your dad get remarried like right when she crossed over? Yeah. Yeah, your son is narrating this interaction. I said, your son didn't like that. He said, sorry, sack of and I go, he needs somebody. I don't know, maybe you were mad too at the time. I'm not saying your dad's a bad guy at all. He's just talking about the situation. He says, man, he says, I felt bad with her. They didn't even let her grave get cold, or they didn't even let her body get cold before he went and whoop, right on to somebody else. And who knows, maybe he was even talking to her while he was going to that. You know, men back then, like that's his whole thing. He says, tell me, one. Weird. Maybe we don't know. Do we know if your mom ended up having like a feminine cancer and then it went to her brain? What was happening with her?
I was 9, and the best of my knowledge was she was an alcoholic and addicted. So, and she actually died of cirrhosis of the liver.
So the liver. That's why she's so sick. He goes like this. He puts a lot of pain right here in like my tummy area. And then he talks about how her brain was sick. So that could also go with addiction, you know? Yeah. And so I'm like, did she have feminine cancer? Because he didn't say anything about intestines or anything. And did it go to her brain? So I read that incorrectly. He says that, one. Y'all didn't have a lot of money though. Y'all didn't have a lot of money at all. He says, yeah, you know, that moon juice. And I was like, what the hell is moon juice? He's talking about like if somebody has like moonshine or something. And I go, well, interesting. He says they didn't have a lot of money though. So what they did went to that. And he's talking about how she was doing meth. You know, she was doing meth on top of it. Like, is that a thing? Like white crystal powder.
I knew there was other drugs. I didn't know what it was.
Okay, it's okay. She says to me white crystal. I don't know if cocaine was a thing at that time. I have no idea because I don't. Yeah. He says that. Sorry, I like specifics. He says, tell me. They were bad together. No wonder I ended up this way. And I'm like, no, you're not. You are perfectly fine. Leave it alone. What? Interesting. I wonder if, okay, I'm sorry, Caleb, because it's been a while. Where is the little, who has the granddaughter? Where's the granddaughter come in? Where's the little girl? No place? Interesting.
There's a son's.
Son, yeah, grandsons. Interesting. they keep talking about how, I wonder if she's going to reincarnate as one of your sons or the grandson's kids. Because your Chris says destined to be a granddaughter or destined to be a great granddaughter, to like relive this over and over again. I mean, we do come back in, we do move back in, especially when we have issues like this. Hold on, tell me. She isn't reincarnated though. So I'm wondering if she comes back in as like a kid of the grandsons, and that would keep her there. But we don't need to go into that now. That's 20 years in the future, or 10 years in the future, 20 that we don't need to go to. Tell me. Come here, bring her in. And even though she had cirrhosis of the liver, she was still drinking and doing all this stuff all the way up until her deathbed.
Yep.
You know? Yeah. Yeah. I hear a woman. I'm kind of like adjusting myself. So I have a cat hair on my nose somewhere. So excuse that. I'm adjusting myself, and all I hear is a woman that has like a more raspy, or I'm not saying raspy in a bad way for you, Mom, but like me, I have like a lower voice with a little rasp to it. She has like a raspy voice like that, like you and I. But she says, and I was doing this all the way up until I died, like that. And I go, oh, that's all I hear. One. So she would just let y'all run wild. She just let y'all run free. So no wonder you're like such a good mom to your kids. I said, so what were you doing? Were you being mean? She says, I'd get mad, stop. And she says, and I'd let him go. I'd let him run. I'd let him go wild. And I go, oh, okay. She says, weird. Do we feel like your dad was like physically abusive to your mom? Yeah. She goes like this. I said, why did you do that? What was going on? And she says, well, you have to forget. She says, when somebody's to you, like physically and sexually abusive in a way, she says, sometimes you just don't care. And I go, I understand. This is how she's talking. One, she's tried to get you to the place where, so Mom, your mother has been a person that's been around you, trying to guide you, trying to get you to where you are. And she's happy with where you're at because of what happened with her. She has to be your guide. Again, what we see in repeat patterns all the time, right? With people across this way, this is kind of what happens. And so she won. One. Ooh. She like makes a kiss to somebody else. Do you have like another sibling that is not your father's kid or something?
Yep.
Weird. Really?
Hey, Linda.
Y'all. Oh my God. She goes like this. She says, I'm doing this with my hair. And she's telling me it's pretty, it's beautiful. She is nice in my head though. And I go, what? And she goes, she goes, I too. And she kisses somebody else. And I go, oh. And she says, yeah, but maybe he shouldn't know. Like there's something about maybe we're trying to keep it a secret, or maybe like he would get mad about it. There's some that goes along with that, with your father, along with your father. There's a weird feeling that I don't know a word for right now. And she says, but I love them both. Let them know, like that. Tell me. She says, like, nobody talks to her. She's just like the ghost of Christmas past. Hold on. What? Which is odd. She doesn't even show me her face. Nothing. Why? I wonder if her daddy was really mean to her. I bet her daddy was kind of like a butt to her for some reason. There's like some heaviness that goes along with that there. There's like really, Your mom had a hard life and she didn't know how to deal with it. So she turned to that and she kept going and she apologized and she really likes the life that you built. So she tries to make it better. Does she watch after your son? No. But does your son watch after her? Yes. Your mom is kind of like in a little bit of a lower state. But is it necessarily bad? No. She's just here. She says, what? Tell me. Mom, are you not remarried?
Do what?
Are you remarried? Remarried? You are. Interesting. She keeps bringing up liking the husband, and then she says, like remarried, or like, I like that she's remarried, or for me, that means almost like she should be remarried. So maybe she likes the person you're with now. I think that's what it is. What? I just want you and the spouse that you have right now, y'all to just like sit in two recliners together and like rock back and forth. And like, this is really, yeah, it's a thing. She goes like this. She says, I watched them. And so she's showing y'all, but your mom has a viewpoint of like here. So she's like watching, which is always odd. But it's because they're around their spirit. What? She's telling Chris that he needs to get out of here. He needs to get out of like this level, because this is not who he is, baby, like over and over again. So tell me, what about her? She says, I let myself go too far. You don't. Got it? Good. Okay. There's our ghost of Christmas past moment that we just had right now. That's odd. Does she love you? Yes. Is there love? Yes. Does she regret what happened? Abso-freaking-lutely. Is your sister, the one we talked about, is she mad at her?
Very.
Was she mad at her? Yeah. Oy, 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 oy. I go, what else do you want to say before I let you go? She says, she gives me you. She shows me a symbol for the other one. And she says she holds a lot of anger in her heart. And she says, you got to forgive me. And she says, because the only thing that's doing is eating away at you. It's not hurting me. It's only hurting her. And she goes down like that. She passes like that. She doesn't need to hold on to that anger. She keeps trying to get in and be a part of her life and love her and like make up for it. But the anger blocks her from not only her own mother, which knows that she royally fucked up, but also from her having the fulfillment of her own life, because that's a very heavy burden to bear every day.
Yep.
Okay. So we need to think about that. What? Chris, you're doing a great job. I love you. You just come and hang out with me. You hung out with me last session. You're here again. Why? He's like, don't mind if I do. Like puts his head up on like a theoretical desk. And I'm like, okay, fine. Tell me about her. What do you want to say to her? What? Interesting. I really want y'all. Can you and your mom and like stepdad and stuff and like kids, can y'all go on? Man, that just sounds chaotic though. I want y'all to go on like an Alaskan cruise together, like just something random like that. And I have no idea how or where or why. Is somebody going to do that? Have you thought about doing that?
I thought about a cruise. My husband won't go on a cruise if he has to fly, so.
Oh, he won't? Really? Really? Okay. Weird. Yeah, this is what they showed me. He goes like this. He says, it's about time for y'all to take that family trip now, isn't it? And then I go, where? And then they just showed me like going, I said, what is this? And they showed going on a boat. And then I'm just thinking you with kids and a boat all together for a week. And my ADHD brain is like, oh my God, that's exhausting, and he's talking about go and do that. It would be so much fun. He says that, tell me. What about him? Chris says, tell him he better get his ass on that plane pretty quick. So it's like a whole thing. So I don't know what's happening over there. Maybe it goes along with this again. I don't want to tell you that you're dying at all. I don't think you are, but I want to let you know, I think that we're up for a fight. Okay. So you just let me know when that happens. Tell me, bud, what about her? You do not like your father, do you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I love my dad.
Do you love him?
My dad.
Interesting.
She's really
Yeah.
pissed.
Why? Oh, are you pissed at him for him dying?
Yeah, he left me alone.
That's why you're mad. This is what Chris said. He goes, she's so mad at him. And I'm like, does she not like him? What? That's just, I read that is not like him. She says that, what? Did he do it to himself? What happened with him? I'm not getting him right now. I'm not channeling him. I'm just asking. Do you know what happened?
Oh, he was overweight, diabetic, heart disease.
You can't be mad. Like, I'd be mad at him too. Yeah, I would too. Hold on. Let me see. Let me grab him. Let's see. Tell me. Chris, can we do this? Can you make it up there that high? Can you do that? Hold on. Give me 2 seconds while we have our child fetch him. Hold on. And that woman that he remarried after your mom, he stayed with her for that whole rest of that time. Yeah. Chris is talking about that. He goes, and remember that person he married after your mother? Yeah. He stayed with her the whole time. And as he's talking about it, his voice is trailing off, like going to go get him. So he's just telling me like a narrative of the story. Come here. What? Tell me. Come here, bud. Interesting. Wait. Was your dad like not there when you was your dad not there when you got remarried?
He was there.
He was there. He gave you away, correct?
No, I didn't.
Or was he sitting?
He was sitting.
Sitting. Okay. This is all he said. He says, don't be mad at me. He's like, I know something I wasn't able to give you away. And I was like, so are you not there? What's going on? He was talking about sitting down and watching it. And I'm like, okay. He's like trying to make a joke that doesn't come across very straightforward in my head. He says, tell me, what? Jokes are always weird. It's like translating a personality with a punchline. What? Tell me.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's very straightforward. Tell me. He's funny. I said, why don't you get up? He says, why would I get up when I'm so comfortable here? I feel like your dad spent most of his life sitting down, or at least like the last like 10, 15 years. He goes like this. He goes, why would I want to get up when I'm so comfortable here?
Sounds right.
Like that. I go, okay. He says, tell me. He's with you all the time. He's just more quiet. He's sitting with you. You would take care of him. What are you doing? He's talking about being the person that directs everybody from his chair all the time. He says that, what? Shame happened to you, Chris. Interesting. Tell me. Did your father pass before Chris did? Interesting. Yeah. He says he's sitting in a chair and he's talking to Chris. Chris is standing next to him. And he says, shame that happened to you, Chris. Yeah, I watched all that. I watched you come here. Like, that's all he's saying. So he's there watching this. He says that, you need to be up there. What? My daughter knows that I love her. I don't need to tell her. He's not like the biggest person that comes up and says, I love you so much. I miss you, blah, 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 blah. He's just there, very straightforward. One. Interesting. He does say, watch out for the solar panels, watch out for the cabin thing, watch out for that. And he says, watch out for that. I feel like he could have been like a handyman, a really good person with stuff like that. But now he just sits. Your dad just like quietly sits in the background. Is he with your mother? Absolutely not. Your mother is in a different vibration. She's here with you. It's like feels a lot darker, but it's not bad. Chris is here. He is our what? Why, Mom, why won't you get chickens? Do you think they're nasty and you can't have them? Or why? Why won't you do that, Mom?
Because they shit on my porch.
Yeah. Chris is in my house right now. I have 10 chickens in a big, like, metal thing in my living room because I'm raising them. And he says, Mom, he says, these chickens are cute. Why don't you get chickens? You have the space. I know you think they're nasty, but, you know, why don't you do it? And that's, so he's just like talking about my situation with you because you do. And, you could get eggs and you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's not going to be a thing. And you don't have the time. So he's in my house right now. So, yeah. Does your son love you? Absolutely. Does your family love you? Absolutely. Right now, I have to go to my next session in just a second. So do y'all have any questions for me at all? I think we have the headline of the day. He ran up to you and talked to you about it. So
we're surprised.
Got it.
I think she only maybe had questions about his 2 young sons. And
okay.
About it a bit last session.
Yeah.
And his brother.
Yeah.
And the brother that he's mad at.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Let's see. Give me a second. Hold on. What about him? Give me a second. Let's see. Weird. It almost feels like that other brother was like pushing him to be a better person or pushing him to be a good person. Like it almost feels like that other brother is trying to take on like the father or the dad role in his life and or trying to, I mean, he may not go about it the right way though. Let's just say that maybe he gets a little bullheaded and he's saying that he says, I love you, but I'm making my own way now. And I'm like, whatever, y'all are still in cahoots. When he gets up to a higher vibration, he won't be that way anymore. But tell me. Interesting. Is that brother balding?
A little bit.
A little bit. Interesting.
He's got a bald spot now.
Does he really?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm looking at him. I'm like, Chris, I'm like, y'all have full heads of hair. Like, I don't know. And he goes like this. He picks this out of my head. He looks at him and he says, I see your monkey butt, which is like when you have a bald spot up here. And I'm like, is he balding? All he does is he keeps like poking fun at this over and over and over again. So that's like his little joke way. He's going to be around him. But because that brother is more closed off, he may not be able to experience it. He may be a little upset with him. So think about it when he's more closed off. It's like he tries to get in, but it's like, you know, bouncing pennies off a glass, bing, 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 you know, stuff like that. So just tell him he's around, tell him he loves them. He's trying to be around him. He's more like nitpicking at him. I think that brother will see him when he gets to heaven in quite a long ways from now, you know. What? She's not going to have enough time for that. Hold on. Why does he keep saying fight for my boys? Are y'all going to get his sons? Weird. Okay. Yep. He says fight for my boys. Fight for my boys, Mom. Come on, y'all. And then I go, what about this that's going on with your mom? He says she may not have time for that, but this one will. It'll happen. And he goes, keep it up, keep it up. He says, I love him. Okay. So know that. He and I quote, "They don't need to stay around with those hoes. Man, I don't know why I put my dick in them." And I quote, all the way.
Oh my God.
I had to tell you, these are the things that come across every so often. And if you want to know if there are regrets, absolutely save that. Okay? That's your brother. Because he would say stuff like that.
Custom
So it's not always fluffy. I do let some of the more vulgar stuff come in, and that's exactly what he's talking about. So that's how forceful he is. So yeah, keep fighting for him. You got it?
Yep.
Okay, y'all. I love you.
Love you.
If you need, let me know. You got it, and I'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye, y'all.